All right, guys. So for today's new light guide walkthrough and returning to Destiny player walkthrough, we are just going to stay here at Orbit. We actually are not going to go to any of our destinations today. We are just going to hit start on the Xbox controller and talk about what all it is you're looking here in your main menus. There's a lot to go over. So the first thing is your character menu. On the very first video, we explained the different subclasses, what all the stuff inside of it means. So we're not going to drill into that again, but we're going to go through the basic data on this main page. You'll notice over here, out to the side, that there are gray boxes next to these weapons. Those represent how many out of the 9 you can hold on your person at any one time. So from the top, this is our kinetic weapon, the kinetic weapon slot. Kinetic weapons have unlimited ammo, and you run out, you just reload. You never have to pick up ammo off of the ground to use them. With few exceptions. You'll see over here there are some kinetic special weapons, but they are few and far between. All shotguns are going to use special ammo, and you can tell right next to underneath where it says the name of the weapon is the power level of that weapon, and then directly to the right of that it tells you the type of ammo. This one is that green in the box with the 2 bullets next to it. That's the special ammo. That is a limited resource. If I hover over to the Rat King, an exotic weapon that is just a base kinetic, you'll notice it says primary with white. Primary, always, you run out of ammo, you reload, you have more ammo. There's no ammo bricks to have to pick up. So this is where we store up to 9 of our kinetic weapons. The next weapon type down is our energy weapons, and I'm always full on these, and they have different element subtypes. So this blue that I'm hovering over, this entire row, that is our arc subclass. So those will deal arc damage, and you'll see I have a lot of them. That's the current meta for the season. But if I scroll up to here, that is purple. That is void. So it does void damage. And then over here, I've got a row of solar damage weapons. There is, of course, one more subclass that is the stasis subclass. And stasis weapons that I have, anyway, are up here on my kinetic slots. So you will see a handful of kinetics that also actually have a specific energy type equipped to them. Below that, that's our power weapons. These are the purple heavy ammo bricks that you have to pick up, so it's not unlimited, just like the green ammo types. And then just below that, this is our ghost shell. We'll drill more into the ghost, but this is effectively cosmetic, though. If you go further into the menu itself, you can equip different perks depending on what you want to select. And yes, you do have to upgrade all of these items. They go up to class 10. That's for every piece of equipment that you have, effectively. Your shell, all armor, and all weapons. They are all up to a possible max of 10 energy to be maxed out. You'll notice my current helmet I have next to the big number below the name 1574. That's the helmet's power level. Out to the right of that, that's how much energy I've filled up. So if I drill into it and I come over into the energy bar, you'll notice it says I can upgrade it. And it tells me what I have to put into it to upgrade it again. And the reason you put energy into these is there is a point value for the different perks and mods. Like we talked about the mod vendors, Banshee and Ada at the tower. This is where you actually slot in those mods. You can slot them into weapons, you can slot them into armor. And they have a different point value. So depending on the build you want to craft, you add all those numbers up, that's how much energy is required to equip all of the various mods on your item. So yeah, it takes a little work. You will have to play, but that's how you do it. And quickly hovering over, you can see exactly the names of all of your currently equipped modifications as we scroll down. And the same is going to be true, though to a different extent, for our weapons. This just shows perks. There's no actual point energy points required for, like over here, it shows 8 energy, 10 energy, 10 energy, 10, 10. All the way over here, you'll notice it doesn't say anything about an energy level on the weapons. That's because we don't have to power them up. We can just select whatever perks we want from the perk columns. Then on the bottom here, this is the seasonal artifact. If you are returning to Destiny, you may not have seen this or know what this is, depending on how many years it's been since you've played it. But effectively, this is another new mechanic in the game, where as we play and we get XP, we can unlock different perks on the seasonal artifact. And if you hover over the artifact, it will tell you what your next artifact XP lock is. So for me, I'm at 1,109,000 and change of 1,470,000 to get my next artifact unlock, and that will allow me to unlock either this one or this one. I'm only missing 2 for the current season. And you'll also notice if we hover over, above that, it says next power bonus and how much XP we need for a power bonus. And directly above that, it says a power bonus plus 16. What that is our actual character power level. If I hover over my current seasonal power on this build, it's 1589. I have a base 1573 from my gear. It's the average of the power scores on all of my gear combined based on what I have selected on my character at the time, plus the power bonus from the seasonal artifact. So in this case, plus 16. So instead of just being a lowly power level 1573, I am sitting at 1589. That is huge. There are specific minimum requirements for power level to do some high end game activities, such as Grandmaster Nightfalls, for instance. And also if you're playing Iron Banner. Iron Banner, it does have power level as one of the factors in how well you perform playing against other people. So if you're coming in here as a new light, I'm going to play Iron Banner as a base level 1530. You are probably going to not have as good of a time as somebody like me that's pushing 1590. So just some things to keep in mind. And the next major area in this character screen is all of the stats on the side. This is the culmination of all of the stats on your armor. So if I hover over any piece of armor, it will tell me exactly what the various points I have on that specific piece of armor are. And all of those combined across all of the specific items that I wear equal these values over here. So you'll see my mobility is not super high, it's only at 42, and it'll tell you what your speed increase is or what your damage reduction is if you go to resilience, what your recovery is, that's your class ability, what your recharge rate is on your grenades, what your your ultimate ability is, recharge, and finally your melee recharge. So all of these numbers have a very big impact on how it feels for you to play your character on your specific build. Depending on what armor or weapon you swap, will completely reset not only your power level over here, but armor specifically is going to impact all of these values. So depending on the build you're going for, different values out of this list will be important to you, and also certainly for the different character subclass. Like I play Warlock, so mobility, sure, it's nice to have mobility. It's not that important really as a Warlock build. If you're playing something like Hunter as a PvP main, yeah, then mobility is going to be hugely important. So this is where you can read about them, see what your values drop as you're popping points in to all of these gear and swapping it around. Then the last thing I wanted to point out on this main character screen is up top here. This is where you can quickly see how much glimmer, your base currency in the game, your legendary shards, the silver, this is actual, you can purchase it for cosmetics. I have some. If you don't care about spending actual money on cosmetics, that you can just ignore. And then bright dust, you get this naturally from playing the game over time, and you can turn that into the store for various perks as well. This is the main character screen, and if you hit down on the Xbox on the D-pad, it'll take you to the next screen. The next screen gives you these emblems, which have various stat trackers. You'll unlock these as you play, and depending on what stats you want to be able to quickly be able to see, you can pick whichever one of these emblems you want to select. Down here is where you can equip your vehicles. I only keep on my person at any time the exotics, because all of the exotics have the max vehicle speed in game of 160. Then down here is your ship. This is just cosmetic. It's just what ship do you like the look of as you're traveling between various destinations. Then over on this right side, this is appearance customizations. This is where you can pick your different customizations for all of your various pieces of gear. You can do it from that menu, but you can also do it from within the item itself. Down here, your finishers. As you're finishing off people in battle, in PvE, you can have different items equipped for different finishers. So that is one option that I have unlocked. Here is another just to show a difference. So whatever you select, that will do your finisher if you do the finisher input. That is clicking in the right stick on the Xbox. Then down here, finally, we have our emotes. You can bind them to the D-pad to allow you to emote various things with people. I have one set to cry, one where I sit on a throne, one where I rock out, one where I just do a little funky dance. And you unlock these over time just playing the game. So that's where you set all of those. Finally, for the last, and this is strictly just cosmetic, the last thing of real major note on the character screen is when you drill into the weapons and you hover over them, if you hit, you'll see down at the very bottom of the screen it says appearance. If you hit down on the D-pad and you hover over your cosmetics, if you have any additional skins unlocked on exotics, that's where you can apply them. I don't have any for this Mida multi-tool. The exotics use predetermined skins. Anything else that's not exotic, you can put any kind of skin on it that you want. Same thing, hit down on the D-pad. Over here, the rightmost, the default shader, that's where you pick your color schemes. I have not bothered changing the color from the default on this weapon in my hand, but say I like this Neopop Wave, I hover over it, I click Y to preview, it will change the color of the gun and show me exactly what it's going to look like. If I like the preview that I put on, think, oh, that looks really cool, then I just hit A to lock it in, and it will forever be that color until I decide to change it, and you can change it at will. So that is where that is done in game. Very cool, and we can do the exact same thing for our armor. Yes, on the bottom screen, you could do it, but you could also do it standalone over here. This is where you can also apply universal ornaments. These are just different looks for any item that I have unlocked. It doesn't matter what the item actually looks like itself. I can put any look on the item that I want. So say right now on these candescent robes, they don't normally look like this. I have the Dawn Singer robe cosmetic selected, that one right there. Say I wanted to change it to the painted kitsune robes. I can preview by hitting Y, and it'll show me what it would look like with my current shader. Or I can just go back to my default, how I like, and yeah, same thing with these ornaments, they look different when you change the shaders. So you have a lot of customization in this character menu, and I know this is kind of running kind of long, so in the next video we will go through the next areas in here. The biggest, next, and most important one is going to be the currency system in this game, which can be very daunting. So we'll spend some time in this rightmost screen in the next walkthrough video. Hope this was useful. We will see you on the next one.